Today, we're diving deep into the escalating trade tensions between the United States and China. Hello everybody, my name is Toby. Welcome back to the channel. This, of course, is Toby's Takeaway. Recently, President Trump imposed significant tariffs on Chinese goods, citing concerns over national security.
No room left for Mexico or for Canada. No, the tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
Mr. President, just to follow up on my colleague's question.
And just so you understand, vast amounts of fentanyl have poured into our country from Mexico. And as you know, also from China, where it goes to Mexico and goes to Canada. And China also had an additional 10, so it's 10 plus 10. And it comes in from Canada and it comes in from Mexico, and that's a very important thing to say.
And, to my surprise, the opioid crisis. So let's explore how China has responded.
美方如果别有所图，执意打关税战、贸易战或者别的什么战，中方将奉陪到底。
The statements from its leaders, actions taken at the World Trade Organization, the WTO, and the connection between these tariffs and the fentanyl issue. Really interested to hear from anyone around the world, but especially people in America who can perhaps explain to me a little bit more in the comments below about the fentanyl issue and how that is somehow connected to China. So let's run through it. So basically, February of 2025, President Trump of America announced 20% tariffs on all Chinese imports. And this move was justified by the administration as a measure to address national security concerns, also to combat the flow of fentanyl into the United States. So we've always had the security concerns. I'm not sure what their concerns are, but they've always been an idea. But now fentanyl has become an issue. But let's talk about China's response.
外部环境更趋复杂严峻，可能对我国贸易、科技等领域造成
which was swift and assertive. So, of course, going on right now during the National People's Congress, which is happening now, Chinese officials have condemned US tariffs. Makes total sense, of course they would. And they emphasized the nation's resilience and readiness to confront US pressures, both economically and, interestingly enough, militarily. So Premier Li Qiang stated that China would fight till the end to protect its interests. All makes total sense, although worrying that somehow the military might need to get involved in this. I hope not. I'm not keen on a trade war, but I'm certainly not keen on any real combat, any real war.
美国总统特朗普对中国商品加征关税至20%的政策，已于3月4日正式生效。此举引发中国政府的强烈不满。作为回应，中国宣布从3月10号起，对一系列包括大豆、小麦、玉米等美国农产品和食品加征10%或15%的关税，并以国家安全为由，对25家美国公司实施出口和投资限制。
美方执意以芬太尼问题为借口，再次对中国输美产品加征关税。中方多次阐明了反对的立场，采取的反制措施完全是维护自身权益的正当
In retaliation, so China has imposed a 15% tariff on American agricultural products and has restricted, I think, about 25 US firms from operating within its borders. And these measures aim to basically counteract the economic impact of the US tariffs. And they also, I guess, signal China's readiness to engage in a prolonged trade dispute. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But at least on China's side, they seem ready to do that. Remember, guys, those 25 firms are no longer able to operate in China. There are many, many Chinese firms that aren't allowed to operate in America. So it's all very reciprocal. Beyond the reciprocal tariffs, China has taken its grievances to the international stage. So the Chinese government has filed a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization, basically challenging the legality of the US trade hikes. And I think this underscores really two things. One, China's commitment to resolving disputes through established international mechanisms. And I think we've seen a lot of moves through America over the last, well, certainly few months, and a lot of rhetoric from America saying that they're sort of going to sidestep a lot of those international organizations and what we considered in the past New World Order. So China, I think, is on purpose, is going through the WTO to sort of, on both fronts say, look, we're taking you to court, but we're doing it through this court. But what I want to talk about in terms of the US, the fentanyl crisis, so basically America has accused China of not doing enough to curb both the production and the exports, not of fentanyl itself, I don't think, but of the chemicals used to produce what I guess is a synthetic opioid. That's what America said. You've not done enough to stop the production, you've not done enough to stop the export, so we're going to impose these trade tariffs, and by doing so, we're we're going to stop the fentanyl crisis in our country. Guys, does that really make sense? Does all the fentanyl come from China? Because it's a illegal substance, I guess they don't know probably how much is exported and where it's from and where it comes through. If they did know, surely they'd be able to stop it. They think it all comes from China. Does that make sense? Does anyone understand this? Hopefully you haven't taken it, but maybe you understand it. Maybe you're a chemist. The situation sort of escalated further because you've got statements from the US Defense Secretary, the new US Defense Secretary, Peter Hegseth, I think his name is.
We live in very dangerous times in a world with ascendant powers who, if they had their way, would love to be on the rise and reject the forces and capabilities and beliefs of the West. America is at the forefront of that. And wearing the uniform here at the department, it's our job to ensure we create the deterrent effect that maintains American dominance in the world. And there's a lot of folks, namely, and I've name-checked it in public as well, the Communist Chinese, who seek through their ascension a very different view of the world. And so we have to be urgent and we have to be ready about what that means.
Who emphasise the country's preparedness for potential conflicts. So again, this is sort of a bit of military rhetoric, which I don't really like, but I guess both sides are doing it. The importance of military strength as a deterrent. So they're saying we're imposing these trade tariffs, but if it comes to it, both sides said they've got military strength to back it up. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. What I want to talk about today and what I want to have a conversation with you guys, and hopefully get the comments going below, is China's response. So it's very multifaceted. It's reciprocal tariffs. It's banning of certain companies, just like America has done. It's taking a law case to the WTO. It's national leaders also speaking up and making statements. But the fentanyl issue, I think, adds a bit more complexity to the US-China relationship. For a lot of people, I think they'll just think that this is an excuse, that fentanyl, whether a lot of the chemicals come from China or not, whether they export it into America from China, also seems to me at least to be a little bit of an aside, almost like a separate issue, to put it all together, to bundle it, to package it with the trade tariffs, at least in my mind, and I could be wrong, and guys, please do comment below if you think I am wrong or right. It seems more like an excuse. It seems more, at the beginning, I think during the election process, a lot of Americans heard this idea of tariffs, and they thought it meant cheaper goods for America, and I think they thought it meant that maybe more jobs and more manufacturing coming to America. But actually, social media, I think in this aspect is doing a really good job. I think a lot of social media, people on both sides have stated, no, that's not really how the tariffs will work. The people who will pay the tariffs are the importers, will be the people bringing in the goods from other countries. So the people in America bringing those goods, they will pay the tariffs, the duties, the import taxes. And where are they going to offset those costs to? They might ask for cheaper prices from your people in China or other countries, but in this case China, if you're getting goods from China. But more than likely, they will also raise the costs for average American citizens, for your normal folks in America. As their costs go up, so will the costs for your average American. Of course, there's been a sort of meme over the last couple of months about egg prices in America. Well, look, a lot of, perhaps eggs don't come from China, so that's probably another issue, but a lot of products do come from China. And as you put tariffs on those goods, those import duties, then those costs are going to rise. You're going to feel that in your supermarkets or in your online shopping, wherever you do your shopping. So I think a lot of that sort of enthusiasm for the tariffs has probably gone. So what have they done? I'm just guessing, guys. I'm guessing to add more sort of credence, to add a bit more support to these tariffs. They've said, well, hey guys, it's not just about the economics, it's also about this fentanyl crisis, which I'm sure has affected many people and many families in America. And it sounds like an absolutely horrible issue. I do hope America and anyone involved in that gets through it and can deal with it. But they've added that, they've tacked that on almost to this sort of tariff bill and saying, guys, it's not just about economics. By imposing tariffs on China, you're also going to be able to stop your brother, your sister, your mother, your father from getting hold of this terrible drug that could ruin not only their lives but your lives as well. And if you heard that, and if you didn't know better, then yeah, I'm in for that as well. We can stop drugs by tariffing China. Great. But is that really the case? Guys, let me know. Is there really a connection between fentanyl and China's tariffs? By imposing tariffs on China, are we really going to be able to stop an opioid crisis in America? For me, the connection isn't that clear. Perhaps it is for you guys. And as I said, a lot of my videos, it's not me telling you the truth. It's just an opinion. And actually, what I really want these videos to be is more of a conversation where you guys get going in the comments below and we can talk about these things. I have a fair bit of resources and knowledge about what's going on in and around China, but America, obviously, I know a lot less about. So I'd be very happy to hear from people around the world, but especially American friends, to let me know what you think and what you think about China's response to these American tariffs. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you watching. I know I've rambled a little bit today, but I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do so. But from me, Toby's Takeaway, thank you guys.